So people always say, I want a loving relationship, but what they really want is happiness, really. So we do these meditations to create love in our lives. And it could be love in familial relationships with your siblings, it could be with your parents, it could be with your friends, or it could be with a significant other. And so if thoughts are the electrical charge in the quantum field, and feelings are the magnetic charge in the quantum field, and how you think and how you feel broadcasts an electromagnetic signature that influences every single atom in your life. The thought sends a signal out, and the feeling is the magnetic field that draws the event back to you.
Right.
So if you're not in a place where you're in love with life, or in love with yourself, or practicing diminishing your emotional reactions to certain people or conditions in your life, and you're living in anger or hostility or judgment or fear, and you want a loving relationship, there is no magnetic field for you to draw that to you.
Spread love, man.
Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. You guys sent in tons of questions about attracting love, so we're going to tackle that today.
Yeah, going to try to break it down into some, well, usable pieces, right?
Exactly. We got a lot of Dr. Joe Dispenza's work to go through, so.
His blend of neuroscience and self-help, I think, is a really good fit for this topic.
Yeah, and he doesn't pull any punches, you know. Right away in his book, he asks, would you go out with you? Like, whoa!
It kind of stops you in your tracks, right?
Totally. It made me think, how often do we focus on finding the one?
When maybe we should be focusing on being the one ourselves first.
Yeah, like becoming the kind of person we want to be in a relationship with.
And Dispenza's big on this idea that relationships shouldn't feel like work.
Right, if it's constant effort.
It might not be the right fit. Maybe that goes back to that going out with yourself thing.
Like, are you showing up authentically? Someone you actually enjoy being around?
Because if you're not happy with yourself, how can you expect a partner to just magically fix that?
And that's where things get kind of mind-bendy, right? Dispenza talks about our thoughts and feelings.
Creating an electromagnetic signature.
Electromagnetic what?
Basically, it's like we're all putting out these vibes.
Okay, vibes, I get that.
And those vibes are attracting similar vibes back to us.
So if I'm putting out lonely and desperate vibes,
you're going to attract more of that back.
Yikes. So like a magnet, attract the same energy.
Perfect analogy. Think about it. If you're always focused on what you don't have in a relationship,
you're actually pushing love away.
Amplifying those feelings of lack.
But if I focus on feeling love now,
even if I'm single,
they're shifting your energy, becoming a magnet for love.
Aligning with that frequency.
Not about manipulating the universe, but being in sync with what I want.
Exactly. Dispenza's big on moving beyond, like, survival emotions.
Survival emotions.
Those primal things, fear, anger.
Our caveman brain, basically.
Yeah, resentment. They were crucial back then, right? Facing danger all the time.
Makes sense they'd still be wired into us.
But the thing is, when we're stuck in those survival emotions...
our body's in stress mode 24/7.
Exactly. And that's not exactly a love magnet.
Love needs openness, not fear and tension.
Right, so even if we don't realize it, those anxieties could be blocking us.
Wow, I never thought of it that way.
So Dispenza says cultivate those elevated emotions instead.
Love, joy, gratitude, all that good stuff.
Right. Shifting to a higher frequency creates inner harmony.
Making us more attractive, literally.
And then he gets into how our bodies store memories.
Hold up, our bodies. I thought that was the brain's job.
Our bodies hold on to the emotional memories, you see.
So my body's like a walking record of every heartbreak.
In a way, yes. And when you think about a past negative experience...
like bumping into an ex.
Your body reacts, even if your mind's moved on.
Oh, tell me about it, racing heart, the whole deal.
And those stored emotions, they can block new love.
Like emotional baggage weighing me down.
But Dispenza says there's a way to break free.
Tell me more, tell me more.
Instead of waiting for something external, like finding a partner to feel love,
we need to flip that.
start feeling love now, even before the relationship appears.
Cultivate it within myself first.
Exactly. Shifting from lack to abundance.
Thinking about the times I felt most confident, attractive.
Was when I was happy, not desperately seeking someone.
That's so true. It's like that energy just radiates.
You become a magnet, not just for love, but for everything good.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this fits together.
But does that mean I should just be happy being single?
Good question.
Dispenza's not saying stay single. He's saying Become the best version of yourself.
No matter what.
Single or in a relationship, both offer chances to grow.
It's not about choosing one or the other, but realizing both have something to teach us.
Exactly. And when you approach relationships from that place of wholeness,
You're not looking for someone to complete you,
you're looking for someone to share the journey with,
someone who inspires you to keep growing.
who complements your strengths.
That's beautiful. It's like shifting from scarcity,
To abundance.
knowing I already have everything I need to be happy,
And then you attract someone on the same wavelength.
who is also into growth and creating a loving, supportive bond.
That's the kind of relationship that really thrives.
This is inspiring, but kind of daunting too,
How do we actually embody this kind of love?
especially if we've been hurt before.
That's where self-compassion comes in.
Being kind to ourselves,
Dispenza's big on forgiveness, releasing resentment,
not pretending the hurt didn't happen,
but choosing to let go of the pain so we can move forward
giving ourselves permission for a fresh start.
with an open heart.
I love that. So it's a journey, not like flipping a switch,
Ups and downs, doubts and clarity.
but choosing love for ourselves and others.
Creates that ripple effect, changes our lives and those around us.
Yeah.
Now, there's this other concept that I found really fascinating. Oh yeah, lots of good stuff in there.
It's called constructive interference in relationships.
Oh, that's a good one. So imagine like two waves meeting.
Yeah.
But they meet perfectly, peaks and valleys lining up.
Not crashing into each other.
No, they amplify each other, creating this like mega wave that's constructive interference.
So instead of canceling each other out, they get bigger.
Exactly. And Dispenza says when two people who are both radiating love and wholeness,
Come together
their energy multiplies. It's more than just the sum of its parts.
like a power couple.
You got it.
Yeah.
That synergy, that's what makes those amazing relationships where both people feel supported, empowered.
I love that. But let's be real for a sec.
Sure.
Nobody's happy-go-lucky all the time.
Definitely not.
We all have bad days, doubts, insecurities.
Oh, for sure. That's just being human.
So how does that fit into this whole constructive interference idea?
Right. So Dispenza acknowledges that we're all going to have those down moments.
It's inevitable.
The key is being mindful of the energy we're bringing to the relationship. Are we like adding to the wave?
Or are we creating chaos?
Exactly. Like if you're constantly complaining,
Focused on the negative.
even if your partner's usually positive,
I'm messing up the flow.
you're creating that destructive interference. Yeah.
That's kind of a bummer.
It is. And that's where Dispenza talks about personal responsibility instead of blaming our partner.
For our own unhappiness.
Right. Or expecting them to fix everything.
We got to take charge of our own emotional state.
It's a big shift for a lot of people, I think.
It is, but it's also empowering. You know, I'm not stuck.
You have the power to change it.
I can choose happiness and make the relationship better.
Exactly. And Dispenza gives us some tools for that when we're feeling stuck.
Like what?
Well, meditation's a big one.
Not just like sitting there trying to empty my mind.
No, he's got specific meditations designed to elevate your emotional state.
Okay, but does that really work? Some people might think that's a bit,
Ooh.
yeah, a bit out there.
I get it, but there's actually a lot of research now
Oh, really?
showing that meditation can literally change your brain.
No way.
Better emotional regulation, less stress, anxiety.
And that helps with relationships.
Totally. It's not just about feeling good in the moment. It's about creating lasting change.
Rewiring ourselves, basically.
Joy, love, peace, the whole package
And it affects more than just romantic relationships.
spills over into everything.
I like that. It reminds me of something else Dispenza talks about. Emotional programs.
Oh, yeah, those sneaky things.
What are those exactly?
Yeah.
And how do they mess with our love lives?
Think of it like a computer program running in the background,
Okay.
affecting how your computer operates, even if you don't see it.
Gotcha.
That's kind of how emotional programs are, learned responses to past experiences.
Often from childhood, right?
Yeah, and they affect how we react to things now.
So say someone had a really critical parent,
They might feel inadequate, unworthy of love.
and that carries into their relationships.
Exactly. Maybe they unconsciously seek out critical partners.
Or sabotage good relationships.
Because deep down, they don't believe they deserve love.
Ah, so that's why I keep dating drummers.
Well, maybe.
Just kidding. But seriously, it explains why we sometimes attract the same type of person.
Even when we consciously want something different.
It's like we're on autopilot, repeating the same patterns.
Dispenza says we can become aware of these programs, though.
And change them.
Reprogram them. Through mindfulness, meditation, we can rewrite those old scripts.
So we're not just attracting a different partner.
We're becoming a different person.
Free from those old fears and insecurities.
Exactly. That's the real transformation.
This is powerful stuff. We all have some baggage.
We do, but we don't have to be defined by it.
Dispenza gives us a way to heal, to change,
He reminds us that we have the choice.
to choose love, rewrite our stories, create the relationships we truly desire.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
This has been so insightful. We've covered so much.
We have, from those emotional programs to constructive interference.
Before we move on, is there anything else from this section that really grabs you? Welcome back to our deep dive with Dr. Joe Dispenza on attracting love. We talked about self-love, raising our energy.
And how to reprogram those subconscious patterns holding us back.
Right. Now, Dispenza takes it even further with this idea of, get this, becoming love.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It sounds amazing, but also kind of like, what does that even mean?
It's a shift, you see, from seeking love.
To being love.
Exactly. You're not waiting for someone to fill a void.
I become the love I want to experience.
You become the source of it, and then naturally,
It attracts more love.
it attracts, right?
Yeah.
And he talks about remembering your future. Powerful stuff.
Remembering the future.
It's about feeling love so strongly, so
That
fully,
your body thinks it's already happening.
like you're living in that future reality where love is abundant.
So I'm not just hoping for love, I'm like living it now.
Exactly. And the heart is key here.
We talked about its electromagnetic field, remember?
Extending out 3 meters. Whoa.
And when we're feeling love, our heart rhythm gets more coherent,
It sends out this harmonious wave of energy.
making us a love magnet.
And there's science behind this too. Research on heart rate variability shows
That a coherent heart rhythm means.
greater well-being, resilience, even better brain function.
So, love is good for our hearts and our minds.
It's the real deal.
But how do we actually, do this? Become love in everyday life?
Dispenza says it's a daily practice
Choices we make.
to nourish our hearts, elevate our energy.
Give me some examples. I'm ready to put this into action.
Gratitude is huge, intentionally focusing on what you're thankful for.
Shifts you from lack to abundance.
Right. Acts of kindness, too.
Paying it forward.
Every little act is like a deposit into your love bank account.
What about meditation? Spending time in nature.
All that counts. Find what brings you joy and make time for it.
It's about designing a life that supports our well-being.
Creating a lifestyle of love, you could say.
Like that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup.
If we want to give love, we got to fill ourselves up first.
This is so eye-opening. So instead of waiting for someone to complete us,
We become whole on our own
radiating that love outward.
and attracting it back tenfold.
This has been a phenomenal deep dive. We've learned so much, from the science to the practical stats.
And it all comes back to that power we have within.
To become love, to radiate it, to create a life that's truly overflowing with it.
That's the real magic.
What are your final thoughts for our listeners as we wrap up this incredible episode?
Think about what really resonated with you today. What practices can you start or do more of to cultivate love for yourself and others?
Remember, you have that power within you to create a life filled with joy, connection, and extraordinary love.
It's all there, waiting to be unlocked.
Thank you all for joining us on this deep dive into attracting love with Dr. Joe Dispenza. And remember,
The journey starts within.
see you next time.